الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين ورضي الله عن الصحابة المقربين أما بعد. Alright, so lesson 3, Qatr Nada. We are now talking about verbs. We talked about the ism and categories of the ism, and we go on to categories of the fi'l. قال رحمه الله وأما الفعل فالثلاثة أقسام. Right, so the 3 categories of fi'l. ماض, of course we know what they are, ماضي, مضارع and أمر. ماض ويعرف بتاء التأنيث الساكنة. So the ماضي, he first mentions the indicator, or one of the indicators for the fi'l ماضي, which is the تاء التأنيث الساكنة. Right, and we'll talk about all of this in a bit more detail. I just want to read the text first. وبناؤه على الفتح. So the fi'l ماضي is مبني على الفتح by default, كضرب. Example ضرب إلا مع واو الجماعة فيضم كضربوا والضمير المرفوع المتحرك فيسكن كضربت. Alright, so the fi'l ماضي by default is مبني على الفتح except with the واو of the plural, in which case it is مبني على الضم, or with a voweled subject pronoun, in which case it is مبني على السكون. ومنه نعمة وبئس وعسى وليس في الأصح. منه, the who is referring to the ماضي, that included in the ماضي are the following verbs. So he mentions them because there is disagreement about their status, whether they are verbs or not. But he says included in the ماضي is نعمة and بئس and عسى and ليس, according to the sounder opinion, the أصح. Alright, of course, who is saying it is a sounder opinion, which is Ibn Hisham. So we'll talk about this disagreement. And then secondly, we will talk also about fi'l amr today. The third category is mudari, which we might or might not get to. But fi'l amr ويعرف بدلالته على الطلب مع قبوله ياء المخاطبة. So the amr, he says, can be recognized by 2 criteria, which together must be there. By its indicating a request, that the meaning is a meaning indicating request, and that it can take the ya al-mukhataba, the ya of the second person feminine, the ya for anti. وبناؤه على السكون كإضرب, and the fi'l amr is مبني على السكون. For example, إضرب إلا المعتل فعلى حذف آخره, except for verbs which end in a weak letter. These are مبني by dropping the weak letter. كأغزو وخشى ورمي. So he gives 3 examples there, and we'll look at those. ونحو قوما. Alright. So, let's come back to the fi'l ماضي. Fi'l ماضي, of course, by default is for the past tense. But there are other usages of the fi'l ماضي. Of course, that is more getting into balagha, but we can briefly mention something about it. But we have, for example, fi'l ماضي with the meaning of dua. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Radiyallahu anhu. We can have fi'l ماضي also with the meaning of the future, which we find in the Quran sometimes for things in the future, about the end of the world or the day of judgment, where the fi'l ماضي is used for something which has not yet happened, to indicate that it is very certain, as if it has already happened. But by default, fi'l ماضي is for the past tense. One other usage of the ماضي, what is called the panchronic past tense, is the use of the ماضي. This is common in the Quran also, for something which is in the past but which has not stopped. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. Right? Allah was, is, and always will be. غفورا رحيما عليما حكيما, and so on. Alright, so getting back to the grammar here, the ماضي, Ibn Hisham mentions 1 alama for it. If you want to flash back to the Ajurumiyya, he mentions the alamat for the fi'l altogether. Alright. والفعل يعرف بقد والسين وسوف وتاء التأنيث الساكنة. Alright, so قد actually can apply to the ماضي and as well as to the مضارع, but Ibn Hisham did not mention it. Sin and Sofa, of course, are only for the Mudari. Ta at-ta'nith as-sakina is for the Madi, and it is the only one that Ibn Hisham mentioned. So ta at-ta'nith as-sakina is, of course, the ta with the sukun, which is used when conjugating the Madi for hiya. Like darabat, dhahabat, katabat, qamat, qa'adat, istaqamat, and so on. Yeah, some scholars add another alama. They say not just ta at-ta'nith, but also ta al-fa'il. Like darabtu, katabtu, dhahabtu, or dhahabta, dhahabti. Right? And similarly with dhahabtuma, dhahabtum. Right? So the ta subject pronoun, if it is attached to the end of a word, this is also an indicator that it is fi'l mudari. Alright, so these are indicators of the Madi. Ta at-ta'nith is what Ibn Hisham mentioned. We could add to that ta al-fa'il and qad. Alright, then we go on to the status of the fi'l madi. It is always mabni. However, what is it mabni on? Right, the ending will vary. There are three possibilities. It can be mabni ala al-fath, or mabni ala al-dhamm, or mabni ala al-sukun. So the default is mabni ala al-fath when there is no suffix, like daraba, kataba, or it could be fath muqaddar, like rama. Right? Rama is fi'l madi, mabni ala الفتح المقدر على آخره. Right? Because we already have a long vowel ending, we cannot have another fatha. Yeah, we're going to talk about i'rab ظاهر and i'rab muqaddar, I think in a couple of lessons time. Alright, second possibility is mabni ala dhamm, and this is when there is attached to it the waw al-jama'a. Alright, the waw pronoun for whom. Katabu, darabu, dhahabu. Right, so the fi'l madi in this case becomes mabni ala dhamm. And the third case is mabni ala sukun, and this is when there is any other subject pronoun attached to it which starts with a vowel. Alright, so starts with a vowel. This excludes the ta at-ta'nith as-sakina. Right, because this has a sukun on it. It's only one letter, and that one letter has a sukun on it, the ta. And so this does not change the mabni ala al-fath default. It is still mabni ala al-fath. However, if you have a vowel subject pronoun, or a subject pronoun that starts with a vowel, like tu, darabtu, right? Now it is mabni ala sukun. Or darabtum. In this case, there are two letters. The second one has a sukun, but the first one has a fatha, which is a vowel, and therefore the fi'l is mabni ala sukun. Right? So darabtu, darabta, darabti, darabna, or the nun and niswa, also darabna. In all these cases, it is mabni ala sukun. Okay, so I think that should be pretty straightforward. We can go on to the disagreed verbs, or the words about which there is disagreement as to whether they are verbs or not. So these are basically three things. Number one, ni'ma and bi'sa, we can consider them together. Alright? These are from the af'al al-madh wa dham, right? Verbs of praise and censure. Ni'ma ar-rajul, right? How wonderful a man is Zayd. Right, نعم الرجل زيد. Or بئس الصديق أنت, for example, or بئس الصديق أنا. Right, how terrible a friend I am. So according to many of the Kufan scholars of Nahu, many of the scholars of the Kufan school, including Farra, ni'ma and bi'sa are ism. They are not fi'l, and they base this on the fact that they occur sometimes in Arabic with the harf jar before them. Right? For example, there is a saying in one of the proverbial stories, Wallahi ma hiya bi ni'mal waladi. Did I give you that? All right. So someone was given congratulations for the birth of a child, that how wonderful a child it is, and he said, وَلِيَعْذُ بِاللَّهِ, that by Allah it is not a wonderful child. All right. So the grammatically relevant portion here, of course it's strange that a parent would say that, of all people, but the grammatically relevant portion here is we have a bi before ni'ma. Bi ni'ma al-waladi. Right? So Farra and many others of the Kufans took this as an evidence that it is therefore an ism.
How would you say what a blessed child?
نعم الولد.
والله
نعم الولد هذا. ونعم الولد هو.
Can you use ma? Not the nafi ma, but the ma that
تعجب.
Yeah.
Yes. ما أحسنه, or something like that. وما أفضله, something like that could work as well.
Can you say ma بنعم الولد?
ما بنعم الولد. I'm not sure if you can put a B with ma ta'ajjub. I'd have to check. But yeah, ta'ajjub is a separate section. We'll come to it. There are different formulas for ta'ajjub also, and different variations. Alright, so this is one shahid. Another shahid, it's another proverbial saying, نِعْمَ السَّيْرْ عَلَى بِئْسَ الْعَيْرِ. Alright, that what a wonderful journey on what a terrible donkey. Alright, so again here we have a harf jar before bi'sa, indicating that it might be an ism. Alright, if it is an ism, why is it not majroor? Of course, you could say it is ism mabni. Alright, so this is the view of Farra and many of the other Kufans. And so, yeah, if you have the statement ni'ma rajulu zaydun, they would say ni'ma is mubtada. It is an ism which is mubtada. Ar-rajulu is badal from it, and zaydun is khabar. The Basrans, however, and Ibn Hisham is agreeing with them, say that no, ni'ma and bi'sa are verbs. They are fi'l jamid, right, because they are never used in the mudari. And they are also somewhat special because the middle letter has a sukun, right? So they say that it was probably originally na'ima and ba'isa, and then because of common usage, the middle vowel was dropped and converted to sukun. But how do the Basrans respond to the Kufan evidence? They say that yes, these statements are correct Arabic, but we can explain them by saying that the bi in the first case and the ala in the second case, the harf jar, is actually acting on an ism muqaddar, ism mahdhuf or muqaddar, right? An ism which is implied but which is not actually stated. So in the first case, what the person would be intending is that ma hiya bi waladin ka'inin ni'mal walad, or something to that effect. All right. Or ni'ma sayr ala ayrin bi'sa ala ayrin huwa bi'sa al-ayr, or something to that effect. And to support this, they bring another shahid, line of poetry, author unknown, where B is coming before the verb nama, right, which everyone agrees is a fi'l. Wallahi ma layli binama sahibuhu. Alright, so they say the taqdir here, the implied meaning is ما ليلي بليل نام صاحبه. ما here is ما نافية, right? The meaning of laysa. my night is not the night of someone. Let's see how we translate this. ما ليلي بليل نام صاحبه. My night is not a night on which someone would sleep, in which someone would sleep. Right? Because of his worry and his sadness and so on. ولا مخالط الليان جانبه. And basically that he feels his soft bed even to be hard because of his state of mind and heart. Alright, so that is ni'ma and bi'sa, the disagreement about them. And we will be encountering ni'ma and bi'sa again later on when we get to the chapter about ta'ajjub. The second disagreement is about laysa. And laysa is an interesting verb, if we take it as a verb, because yes, it can be conjugated. Laysa, laysat, laysu, lastu, lasna. And it is conjugated as if it is a madhi verb. But again, the middle letter is a sukun. Also, it has no mudari, right? There's no lasa yalisu. It's only no laysa yalisu, it's just laysa. There's no masdar for it either. So it is a verb of limited conjugability, right? So jamid in that sense. Also, meaning-wise, it is unusual because even though it looks like a madhi verb and is conjugated like a madhi verb, its meaning is actually present. Laysa does not mean was not, it means is not. Laysa Zaydun taliban. Laysa is fi'l madhi, but you would translate it as Zayd is not a student. If you want to say was not a student, you have to say ma kana. Yeah, so laysa also cannot be negated. There's no la laysa or ma laysa. At least that I am aware of. Alright, so laysa there is also disagreement about. Abu Ali al-Farisi, the Basran grammarian, 4th century, was of the view that it is not a fi'l, it is a harf nafi, just like laysa. But the majority, including Ibn Hisham, consider it to be fi'l madi. Yes, question?
Yeah, the poem, the line Wallahi ma layli binama sahibuhu, that by Allah, my night wasn't such that the sahib of the night
yes, that the sahib of the night would sleep.
Okay.
Alright, and then the third disagreement is about asa. Again, asa is conjugated like a past tense verb. Asaitu. Asa rabbukum an yarhamakum. The meaning, of course, is usually might. Your Lord might have mercy upon you. Asa rabbukum an yarhamakum. So again, it looks like madhi, but we're not translating it as madhi. So it's again unusual. And yeah, again, there is no mudari for it. And the disagreement here is as to whether, as with laysa, whether it is a harf or a fi'l. Right? So for ni'ma and bi'sa, it was whether it is ism or fi'l. For the other two, it is whether they are harf or fi'l.
So what would be the proof that it's a verb?
The proof of it being a verb, or the evidence for it being a verb, is that it can be conjugated. Asaytu, asayna, as a madhi verb. Asat. And of course you can have an optional n after it. Right? Asa Zaydun. Let's see. Asa Zaydun yadhabu. وعسى زيد أن يذهب. So according to the Kufans and Ibn Sarraj, was a very famous Basran grammarian, 4th century, according to the Kufans and Ibn Sarraj, Asa is harf taraji, similar to la'alla. Right? But according to most of the Basrins, and Ibn Hisham agrees with them, asa is a verb. Okay, and the evidence again is that it can take the madhi conjugation. pronouns. Okay. So I think that is straightforward. We can go on to the fi'l amr. So alamatul amr. Notice Ajurumiyya did not mention anything that was alama of the fi'l amr specifically, right? قد وسين وسوف وتاء التأنيث الساكنة. None of those apply to the fi'l amr. And Ibn Hisham does mention an alama, actually two alamat for the fi'l amr. Both of them must simultaneously be present in order for it to be fi'l amr. One is dalalatuhu ala talab, that its meaning indicates a request. And the second one has to do with the form, right, or the shape of the word, that it is possible to take, for it to take ya al-mukhataba, the ya of anti. Alright, so examples of fi'al amr, kul, for example, it is a command or a request meaning eat. So the meaning part is satisfied, and can it take the ya al-mukhataba? Yes, because if we want to address a female with this command, we say kuli. Alright, فَكُلِي وَاشْرَبِي وَقَرِّي عَيْنَا, Surah Maryam. Alright, so both of these conditions must simultaneously be satisfied, otherwise it is not fi'al amr. So for example, if only the first condition is satisfied, that its meaning indicates request, but it cannot take the ya al-mukhataba suffix, then it is not going to be fi'l amr. It will be ismul fi'l. Right, ismul fi'l we'll talk about in a little bit. It is, alright, in terms of its classification, is it ism fi'l or harf? It is ism. It is not a fi'l. It cannot be conjugated at all, usually. But meaning-wise, it has the meaning of a fi'l. So it might even have a fa'il. Alright, so if the meaning of the word indicates a request or command to do something, but it cannot take the al-mukhataba, then it is ismul fi'l, it is not fi'l amr. And we will see some examples soon, but sah, for example. Sah means be quiet, like shh. If only the second condition is satisfied, that it can take the al-mukhataba, but it does not indicate a request, then also it is not fi'l amr, it is simply fi'l mudari. Right? تضربين تذهبين ولا تأكلي. Right? This takes ya al-mukhataba, but it is not indicating a request, it is indicating the opposite of a request. Yeah, this is important. The amr and the nahi in Arabic are grammatically distinct. The nahi is not considered a subcategory of the amr. It is a subcategory of the mudari. Alright, so fi'al amr, these are the alamatan for it, the two alama. And then its status is it is always mabni. Right? But as with the fi'al madi, what is it mabni on? This can vary. By default, for the anta form of the command, it is mabni ala sukun, like idrib or qum. Alright, or uktub. However, if it is a weak verb, alright, where the weak letter is at the end, then it will be mabni ala hadfi harf al-illa. Mabni by dropping the weak letter. Alright, and Ibn Hisham gave 3 examples for that, for 3 different types of weak verb. So he gave, what is it? Ughzu wa ikhsha wa irmi. Alright? So ughzu is coming from ghaza yaghzu, where you have a waw at the end for the mudari. Alright? So it is naqis wawi. So yaghzu becomes ughzu. So you end up with a dhamma. Ikhsha is coming from khashiya yakhsha. Alright, so it is ya'i, but the madi has an alif maqsura. So yakhsha becomes yakhsha. we end up with a fatha. And the third type is rama yarmi, which is ya'i of the other type, where the mudari does not have alif maqsura, it actually has a ya. So yarmi becomes irmi. So with weak verbs, the amr can end, weak verbs which end in a weak letter, you can have the amr ending in a dhamma or a fatha or a kasra, depending on which precise type of weak verb it is. Alright, so that is the second case, mabni ala hadfi harf al-illa. The third possibility is mabni ala hadfi noon. And this is basically with alif al-ithnain or waw al-jama'a or ya al-mukhataba. Alright, so for the anti, the antuma and the antum. Right? So for antuma we say idriba. We drop the noon from yadribani. Antuma, sorry, tadribani. Antuma tadribani. So we drop the prefix, of course, to make it amr, and we drop also the noon in this case. From tadribani we end up with idriba. Similarly with antum tadribuna, tadribu, and then you drop the prefix as well, so idribu. Mabni, it is idribu fi'al amr, mabni ala hadf al-noon. And similarly for anti tadribina, so the command becomes idribi fi'al amr mabni ala hadf al-noon. And the fourth possibility, fourth case, is mabni ala al-fath, and this is for the antunna. Antunna idribna. Idribna, if you are addressing a group of women, telling them to hit, then it is fi'al amr mabni ala al-fath. No, sorry, that's not correct. It is mabni ala sukun in that case. Right? Idribna. Sorry. So mabni ala al-fath is when we have noon at-tawkid. Noon at-tawkid. You can attach noon at-tawkid to the fi'al amr. Alright, to make it more emphatic. Instead of idrib, you can say idribanna. Alright, so in that case now it is mabni fi'al amr mabni ala al-fath liittisalihi bi noon at-tawkid. Idribanna or idriban. Right, you can have noon at-tawkid al-thaqila or al-khafifa. Alright, so let's just recap that quickly. Mabni ala sukun is for anta and antunna. Right? Mabni ala hadfi harf al-illa is with weak letter ending verbs. Mabni ala hadfi noon is for anti, antuma and antum. And mabni ala al-fath is for the emphatic imperative. Right? For anta. Alright. So yes, fi'al amr is mabni according to Ibn Hisham and according to most of the grammarians. But if you remember, Ibn Ajurrum said it is majzoom. So again, this is it's not a major issue. Yeah, it's to some degree arbitrary what word you choose. And if you think about it, the majzoom description does make sense also, because we are actually doing to the end of the verb the exact same thing as we do when we make it majzoom. The only difference is we are also removing the prefix. So you could say it is a special case of majzoom where you not only change the ending but also remove the prefix. Or you could say that it is a totally different construction which is considered mabni. Again, the important thing is to know what is going on and to recognize it and to be able to produce it, rather than the name you use for it. Alright. So that wraps up the fi'al amr discussion, and now we move on to ismul fi'al. Because remember we said if something indicates a request or a command, but it cannot take the al-mukhataba, then it cannot be considered fi'l amr, it will be considered ism al-fi'l. So ism al-fi'l, as we said, is grammatically an ism, right? But meaning-wise, it carries the meaning of a fi'l. And since it has the meaning of a fi'l, it must have the implication of a tense. So there are asma'ul fi'l with the meaning of madi, there are other asma'ul fi'l with the meaning of mudari, and there are other asma'ul fi'l with the meaning of amr. So every ismul fi'l must have an associated tense. Yeah, of course, amr in English is not considered a tense, but we've talked about that before. Alright, so yeah, we teach this in Fawakih level 4, I think. Ismul fi'l, and we give a number of examples there. You can go back and refer to the notes if you want more examples. I will mention just a couple for each. So for the madi, hayhata, right, which has the meaning of ba'uda. Ba'uda is a pure verb, a true verb, which has the same meaning as hayhata. So hayhata, ba'uda mean to be far, to be distant. Right, so you could say hayhata al-qamaru anil ardi. hayhata would be ismul fi'l, right, mabni ala al-fath. Yes. However, it can also be mabni ala al-kasr or mabni ala al-dhamm. Right, you find all three. Hayhata, hayhati, hayhatu. Most of the Qurra recite it in Surah Al-Mu'minun. Hayhata, hayhata with the fatha. Let's see, one of the Qurra, I think Abu Ja'far. Abu Ja'far, hayhati, hayhati with kasra. And in other early Arabic texts or dialects, you can find also hayhatu. But in all cases, it is ismul fi'l mabni. And alright, hayhat al-qamaru anil ardi. Al-qamaru now would be fa'il for the ismul fi'l. Right? And anil ardi, of course, is jar wa majrur, shibh al-jumla, muta'alliq bi.
hayhat al-qamaru
anil ardi. Or you could even simply say hayhat al-qamaru. Anil ardi would be understood. Another example, shattana. Shattana.
So hayhata doesn't mean the like how, like you're expressing distant, but you're saying how distant so and so is in order to show that.
Depending on the context, it might be that, but not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have connotation of an exclamation, but not necessarily. Okay, shattana has the meaning of to be far apart. Alright, so if you wanted a pure verb equivalent, maybe something like iftaraqa. Alright, so you could say, for example, yeah, shattana can have an optional ma after it.
Shattana baynahuma.
Yeah, shattana baynahuma or shattana ma baynahuma. You could have both. Yeah, and actually if you have shattana baynahuma, you could say baynahuma or shattana baynuhuma. Both are correct. Baynuhuma, bayn is now fa'il. Baynahuma, it is now, let's see, it is now dharf. Mansub ala dharfiyya.
Baynuhuma, how is that fa'il? You said it's fa'il?
Baynu is fa'il of shattana.
Can you explain that? How?
The bayn is far apart.
Okay,
Right.
Bayn, the...
بعد البين وافترق البين.
Okay.
شتان ما بين مشرق ومغرب. Which is the first part, what is it? وجهت إلى المشرق وهي إلى المغرب. Right, I set my face towards the east and she towards the west. Right, so they are parting. How far is the distance between one facing east and one facing west? Okay.
So Baynuhuma, how is how is it acting Bayn? You know, it's فعل, right?
No, bayn is ism.
بينهما, if you say that's فاعل.
Yes, fa'il for the ism al-fi'l, shattana.
For اسم الفعل.
Yeah, so there's no actual fi'l there, but the ism al-fi'l can take a fa'il. As we said, it's with hayhat al-qamaru also. Okay. Ism al-fi'l with the present. An example is uffin. And again, there are dialectical variations. Uffi. There's uffin with tanween, uffi without tanween. There's also uffa. If I'm not mistaken, there's also uffa in the qira'at. Uffil lakuma, uffi lakuma, uffa lakuma. The meaning is atadajjaru. I am annoyed. Atadajjaru. Then there is aw. It's an ism al-fi'l with the present tense meaning. It means I am in pain. Atawajja'u. Awhin. If you want to put the ending on awhin or just aw. And fi'l amr, ism al-fi'l with the meaning of amr, hayya is an example. Like hayya ala salah, meaning come or come quickly. Another example would be sah, meaning be quiet, uskut. Or mah. Anyone know what mah means? Mah. Mah means stop. Stop what you're doing.
Mimha.
Mimha. Just like sah, except the first letter is a mim.
So oh isn't just the, to get her, we say oh.
That's probably the origin, yeah.
Origin.
Origin is probably just from the kind of sigh, an exclamation. Yeah, just similar to oh in English. Okay, so these af'alul amr, they are mabni, they do not change, right? If you say hayya, whether you're addressing one person or two or three, whether it is masculine or feminine that you're addressing, it is always hayya. Alright, if you're addressing one person and telling him to come or to come quickly, you say to him hayya. If it is a female, you still say hayya. There's no hayyi or hayyat or anything like that. So asma al-fi'l are not conjugated at all, usually. Similarly, sah would be said to one person, masculine or feminine, or two or more. However, there are some words which again are of disagreed status. And Ibn Hisham mentions these three words here: halumma, ta'ala, and hati. Alright, let's see what did he say about them. Or actually, no, I think he didn't mention it in the matan, but he mentioned it in the sharh, that there is disagreement about these. So halumma means come. Alright, and there is disagreement among the scholars. Many scholars consider it to be ismul fi'l, and according to the Hijazi usage, it would be considered ismul fi'l, because according to the Hijazis, it is always halumma, whether you're addressing one or two or many, masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. And this is how it is used in the Quran. وَالْقَائِلِينَ لِإِخْوَانِهِمْ هَلُمَّ إِلَيْنَا. Right? Those who say to their brothers, come to us. So the Tamimis here would say halummu, because it is plural. You're addressing many people. Halummu ilayna. But the Quranic ayah here is according to the Hijazi usage. Similarly, in Surah Al-An'am, you have these verses, right? قُلْ هَلُمَّ شُهَدَاءَكُمْ. Alright? Which here means bring your witnesses. So again, this is Hijazi usage. According to Tamimi usage, it would be halummu shuhada'akum. Also notice about halumma is its meaning can vary. It has two possible meanings. It can mean to come or to bring. right? In Surah 33 verse 18 it means to come. Halumma ilayna, come to us. In Surah Al-An'am verse 150 it means bring. Halumma shuhada'akum, bring your witnesses. Alright, so if we use ja'a, if we want it to mean to bring, we will need the preposition be, ja'a bi, or ata bi. But with halumma you don't need a be. By itself it can, based on the context, mean either to come or to bring.
Okay. Can you put it in the form of I mean it is a command, but can you say halum or something?
No. No, that's the other thing with fi'al amr, is its meaning is fixed. If it is ismul fi'l for amr, there is no madi form or mudari form. If it is fi'al amr with the madi meaning, there is no mudari or amr form. And if it is fi'al madi with the mudari meaning, there is no madi or amr form. At least as far as I'm aware, there's actually, as far as I'm aware, there isn't any madi or mudari. However, there is disagreement over the status of halumma, because at least according to the Tamimi usage, it takes the madi conjugation pronouns, right?
Yeah.
Halumma, halummi, halumma, halummu, halmumna, right? For the Tamimi usage. So yeah, see, I think Ibn Hisham considers that for the Tamimi usage it is not ismul fi'l. And then ta'ala and hati, according to everyone, take the conjugation endings, or what would normally be the conjugation endings, but nevertheless a number of scholars still consider them to be ismul fi'l. Alright? So ta'ala means come. Its origin is probably from the verb ta'ala yata'ali, form 6 from the root alawa, right? So ta'ala means to be higher than something else, right? And so ta'ala, if you make it a command now, it would be ta'ala, and the original meaning would be, if we take it from ta'ala ya ta'ali, it would mean
Elevate.
Be elevated.
right, be elevated. Alright, so come to a higher position. And then in time it may be that this changed and became used more broadly simply to mean come.
Could you use it like to tell somebody don't be lowly, be highly?
It could be potentially, yeah. But ta'ala will take endings. Ta'ala is only for one person, singular masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Singular feminine will be
Ta'alay.
ta'alay with fatha, good. Dual will be
Ta'ala.
ta'alaya.
Ta'ala,
Actually, hold on. It should be ta'ala, sorry. Ta'ala. Ta'ala would be the amr, right. And antum, if you are commanding a group,
Hello.
ta'alaw with fatha. And for antunna,
Ta'alna.
ta'alayna, which is in the Quran. فتعالينا أمتعكن وأسرحكن سراحا جميلا. Actually, أنتما, second guessing myself. تعالى وتعاليا.
I think Ta'ala, yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be تعاليا. I'll double check that. Yeah, but notice in all cases the lam has a fatha. So to say ta'alu, as some people do nowadays in spoken Arabic, is incorrect, for at least as far as standard Arabic goes. And similarly, nowadays in spoken Arabic you hear ta'ali for the feminine. This also is not correct. It is lahan. It is considered lahan, a grammatical error or morphological error in standard classical Arabic. So Ibn Hisham mentions this line of poetry. Actually, he mentions only half of the line, which is actually by Abu Firas al-Hamdani, who is a late poet, 4th century, so his poetry is not hujjah to begin with, but people faulted him in this line of poetry and basically faulted him for lahm, that you made a grammatical error here, because he said ta'ali uqasimki al-humuma ta'ali, whereas he should have said ta'alay uqasimki al-humuma ta'alay. And the first part of the line, did I give you that line? أيا جارتا ما أنصف الدهر بيننا تعالي أقاسمك الهموم تعالي. Alright, so this is basically a line that he composed while he was in captivity. Apparently he was captured by the Byzantines in battle, and while in captivity he saw a pigeon outside. Right, and he saw this, alright, this pigeon is completely free to go wherever it wants to, so he says that, "Oh neighbor, fate has not dealt equally with us, or has not dealt fairly with us. So come, let me give you your share of worries. Come." Okay, so it's ta'ala, and then hati means...
So ta'ala is what? For what? You?
Anti.
Anti.
Anti ta'alay. It should have been ta'alay, but he said ta'ali. Alright, so this was a mistake. Then finally, hati is also disagreed. It means bring, and many scholars consider it fi'l amr, or a number of scholars at least, but Ibn Hisham says no, actually it is a fi'l. Right, because it can take, what is his test for the fi'l amr?
Conjugation.
Meaning and conjugation, it can take the ya al-mukhataba. So with hati, if you're addressing a female, you will say hati. And for antum, you will say hatu, which we have in the Quran, hatu burhanakum.
It means bring.
Bring. Alright, so I think we can actually go on. We have about 10-12 minutes still to make up an hour. So, yeah, I think we can cover fi'l mudari. Which is quite simple. ومضارع, this is the third category, right? So he mentioned ماضي, أمر, and then مضارع. ويعرف بلم. So that he's only giving one test for the مضارع, which is لم. If it can take لم before it, it is fi'l مضارع. Again, there are other possible tests. Ajurumiyya mentioned what? Seen and sofa. And the qad can also apply to mudari. Right?
Means maybe.
It means maybe, or it can mean emphasis. قد يذهب could mean he surely goes or he might go. In the Quran, it is, as far as I'm aware, invariably for emphasis. Right? Yeah, you could, another indicator of the mudari, you could say also is the prefix, which he actually does mention, right? ويعرف بلم وافتتاحه بحرف من حروف نأيت. Alright, so by lam or by its beginning with one of the letters contained in the word نأيت. Right, so either noon or hamza or ya or ta. These are the four mudari prefixes. So if a word is starting with this is an indicator that it might be mudari. Of course, not always. Because akala, for example, starts with hamza, but it is not mudari, it is madi, because the hamza here is not a prefix, it is part of the root. Similarly, nabadha starts with noon, but it is not mudari for nahnu, it is madi, with noon as part of the root. Or tabi'a, right? The ta is not a prefix. If you want to add the prefix, you might have two tas, tatba'u. Or similarly with ya, although that's much more rare to have ya as the first root letter, but yabisa, for example. Okay, nahwu. نقوم وأقوم ويقوم وتقوم. Alright? ويضم أوله إن كان ماضيه رباعيا. Yes, this is another important point. So the prefix, the mudari prefix, will have a dhamma if the Madi has 4 letters, if it is ruba'i. And by ruba'i here we do not mean quadrilateral. We mean simply if it has 4 letters in the Madi form. And 4 letters includes the case where there is a shadda. You count that as 2 letters. Alright, so he gives examples. كَيُدَحْرِجُ. This is actually a quadrilateral, 4 root letters, the first example. دَحْرَجَ يُدَحْرِجُ. So the mudari prefix takes a dhamma. وَيُكْرِمُ. What is the Madi of yukrimu? Akrama. This is form 4, so there are only 3 root letters, but the Madi has 4 letters in it. Hamza, Kaf, Ra, and Mim. So it is yukrimu, not yakrimu. I guess we could give other examples also. Form 2. Fattaha yufattihu, because fattaha effectively has 4 letters. Or shahada yushahidu, because again the Madi shahada has 4 letters. So regardless of whether the letters are root letters or not, if the Madi has 4 letters, then the mudari prefix will take a dhamma. In all other cases it will take a fatha. So if there are only 3 root letters, it takes a fatha. Yaktubu. If there are 5 root letters, like infa'ala, yanfa'ilu. Right? Or if there are more, tafa'ala, yatafa'alu. Istaf'ala, yastaf'ilu. If it is 3 or more than 4 letters in the Madi, for the huwa form, then the mudari prefix takes a fatha. But if there are exactly 4 letters in the Madi huwa form, then prefix takes a dhamma. وَيُفْتَحُ فِي غَيْرِهِ كَيَضْرِبُ. Right. وَيَجْتَمِعُ وَيَسْتَخْرِجُ. Right, so he gave examples. وَيُسَكَّنُ آخِرُهُ مَعَ نُونِ النِّسْوَةِ. نَحْنُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ وَإِلَّا أَنْ يَعْفُونَ. ويفتح مع نون التوكيد المباشرة لفظا أو تقديرا نحو لينبذن، ويعرب فيما عدا ذلك نحو يقوم زيد ولا تتبعاني لتبلون فإما ترين ولا يصدنك. ولا يصدنك. Alright, so the mudari, basically the gist of it is that by default it is mu'rab. He says this at the end, وَيُعْرَبُ فِيمَا عَدَى ذَلِكَ. So he mentions the exceptions first and then the general rule. The general rule is that fi'l mudari is mu'rab. Its ending can change. By default it is marfu, but it can be mansub or majzoom if there is a nasib or a jazim causing the change. The exceptions, when is it not mu'rab? It is mabni in some cases, in 2 cases. Alright? يُسَكَّنُ آخِرُهُ مَعَ نُونِ النِّسْوَةِ. If there is noon and niswa attached to it, the noon for the feminine plural, then it is mabni. Right? Yaktubna taktubna. In both of these cases, it is mabni ala sukun. For hunna and for antunna. And similarly, ay ya'funa. This is from the Quran, right? Surah Al-Baqarah. Illa ay ya'funa. أو يعفو والذي بيده عقدة النكاح. So ya'funa conjugated for hunna. This one is slightly different than yatarabbasna, because I guess in 2 respects. One is tarabbasna is a form 5 verb. Ya'funa is a form 1 verb. Afa ya'fu. The other difference is that afa ya'fu is a weak verb. It has a weak letter in it. So originally, actually, it would have been, alright, afawa is the root. So yaktubna ya'funa. Right? The waw is actually a root letter, and so in this case at least it is not the waw for the masculine plural, for antum or hum. Notice that if you conjugated afa ya'fu for hum, what would it be? Ya'funa also. However, there's an intermediate change that has happened, intermediate step in which a change has happened. Afa ya'fu, mudari would be ya'fuwuna. Yaktubuna ya'fuwuna. But because it is considered thaqil, heavy on the tongue to have wuna. One waw drops out and it becomes also ya'funa. So it's important to notice the difference. The hum, when it's conjugated for hum, you still end up with ya'funa, but it is not mabni in this case. It is mu'rab, it is marfu. But when conjugated for hunna or antunna, ya'funa or ta'funa, it is mabni. Mabni ala as-sukun. Alright, so that is pretty straightforward. When there is nun at-tawkid, it is a bit more involved because there is a condition. With nun at-tawkid, it might be mabni, but it is not always mabni. So he gives a condition there. It is mabni ala al-fath. He doesn't say mabni, but he says yuftahu ma'a nun at-tawkid al-mubashirati lafdan aw taqdiran. If there is nun at-tawkid attached directly, without anything intervening.
Mubashiratan?
Right. Al-mubashira. Nun at-tawkid al-mubashira, meaning the coming directly after. So if the nun at-tawkid comes directly after the verb, after the lam letter of the verb, then it will be mabni. But if there is something else intervening, some other letter, whether explicitly there, lafdan, or by implication, taqdiran. For example, if it dropped out because of phonological reasons, then also it will not be mabni anymore. It will be mu'rab, according to the default. Alright, so for example, if we look at the dual form. If you attach the tawkid for the dual form, did I give you an example there? Which one did I give you? Tashribani, right. So antuma tashrabani, right? Antuma tashrabani. If you attach the nun at-tawkid now, antuma tashribaninna. But now, because of the awkwardness of having three successive noons, right? Noon with a kasra, then noon mushaddada, which is equivalent to two noons. One noon is dropped. Alright? And its vowel actually is transferred to the other noon. So tashribaninna, you drop the first of the three noons, and its kasra goes on to the end. Tashribani. Sorry, tashrabani. Shariba yashrabu. Tashrabani. Alright?
This is fasl zahir. Or here this is...
let's see, what did I give it as an example of? Muqaddar.
No, because it actually says the same thing for both.
It says the same for both?
Yeah.
Let me check my notes.
The intervening letters for each type.
No, it should be zahir, because in this case you have an alif, right? You have the alif after the ba, or after the ba of shariba. So it is an example of fasil zahir.
So then
tashrabinna and tashrabunna should be for muqaddar. Do you have tashrabani again there?
No. It just says, but there's no...
Oh, I didn't break them up. Oh, okay.
No, you did, but I think you just copied it and... forgot to change it.
Alright, sorry. Please correct that then.
So this should be muqaddar.
Yeah, tadhabani is fasil zahir. Tadhabunna is fasil muqaddar.
Yeah.
Because tadhabunna is coming from tadhabuna, right? So tadhabuna, you attach nun at-tawkid, tadhabunna. You now have iltiqa al-sakinain, which is not impossible to pronounce, but it is considered awkward, thaqil. And so you end up dropping the noon for phonological reasons. Tadhabunna. And so...
Which one in here? Sorry, I zoned out.
Tadhabunna.
So this
Antum.
should be muqaddar. This should be fasl muqaddar, not this.
Okay.
So antum tadhabunna, you will surely go. There is nothing visible between the lam of the fi'l, in this case the ba, and the nun at-tawkid. Nothing visible, but there is something muqaddar, which is the waw which has dropped out. And so the condition for it being mabni is not satisfied. Therefore, in this case, the tashrabunna is fi'l mudari' marfu'. Right? And similarly with tashrabina أنت تشربين, attach نون التوكيد becomes تشربين. Again, same problem, so we end up dropping the ya, and we end up تشربين. You feminine singular will surely drink. So again, it is فاصل مقدر. So تشربين again is فعل مضارع مرفوع.
And it's because تشربين would be difficult.
It would be اتقاء الساكنين, right? ثقيل. اتقاء الساكنين is generally avoided, but not always, right? There are cases where it is tolerated and allowed. For example, الحاقة. Right? You have التقاء الساكنين there, right? Ha. So there is sukun effectively on the alif, and then there is sukun on the first qaf.
Yeah,
But it's not changed.
also.
Tashrabani also, we still have iltiqa al-sakinain. Alright. So fi'l mudari is mabni if it is attached to nun al-niswa without any conditions. And also it is mabni if it is attached to nun al-tawqid with the condition we mentioned. That there is no fasil muqaddar nor any fasil zahir in between the lam al-fi'l and the nun al-tawqid. If there is a fasil zahir or fasil muqaddar, then it is marfu. Or, not necessarily marfu, it could be mansoob or majzoom. Lan tashrabunna. You will surely not drink. Or lam tashrabunna. You surely did not drink. Alright, but if it is basically the cases we are looking at then are the ones without a suffix. So ana, nahnu, anta, huwa, and hiya. Those ones, if you attach nun al-tawqid to them, they will be mabni ala al-fath. Regardless whether they are fi mahal raf or nasb or jazm. Alright? So la tashrabanna, you will surely drink. Lan tashrabanna, you will surely not drink. Lam tash let's see, can you have lam tashrabanna? La tashrabanna. Yeah, I don't think you could have lam. La tashrabanna. Do not by any means drink. In all those three cases it is mabni al fath. Yeah, I think earlier I said lam instead of lama here for the la tashrabunna. Do not drink. Alright, so I think that is it for today.